Guys, that book had me up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym. And mind you, anyone can say whatever they want and call it self help. Welcome back, YouTube fam. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, hi, hi. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I am back. And I know that I only have very tiny subscribers right now. But, for those of you who do watch my content, I am glad that you are here. And for those of you who are new and are tuning into this video, I hope you like it. So, without further ado, let's get on to this video. So I thought I would share with you guys what my 5+ years of self-help, self-growth, development obsession has gotten me in life and how that shaped my life. And let's just say this started at a time I think we're all too familiar with and can literally remember in within 2 seconds, right? So all this started with the Atomic Habits book, right? By James Clear. That book had a chokehold on me. I literally remember the first time I read that book and how it literally transformed my entire schedule, how I thought about things. Guys, that book had me up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym at when I was 17, 18. Yeah, yeah. When I said it changed my life, it changed my life. And in some ways for literally the better, but in other ways, it did kind of start this need to kind of tap into a lot more self-help content and invest more in that. And this is my problem and this is where I've struggled with it. So let me just share with you guys what my, I guess, things that I've learned about my experience with self-help and self-growth, right? So self-help, like anything else, is monetization oriented. These people, let me just list off some of the podcasters, some of the people that I've listened to, right? I've listened to The Diary of CEO, which has, you guys, almost 15 million subscribers at this point, I think. So that's a big channel. I've listened to Jay Shetty, which I think a lot of you guys might know, Mel Robbins. I've listened to literally Dr. Faye. I've listened to so many different people, Andrew Huberman and Haley Gambit. I've listened to people, Lena Lifts. I've listened to people who are not super informed and don't really have guests on their shows and are just they're the ones that they're just YouTubers who just make podcast videos, right? And then I've also listened to people who actually have experts on their show. And my only thing is that at first I was so into the self-help idea of changing my life, of becoming this, I guess, yeah, changing my life for the better, right? That I forgot that these people are trying to make bank as well. These people will have on the same guest over and over, and these videos are an hour and plus whatever long, and I'm literally tapped in, consuming so much content when I don't need to be. And that has negatively impacted my life because why, I'm forgetting that these people are trying to make money as much as, I guess, I don't even know if it's as much as they're trying to help you, you know what I mean? And I think we forget that content produced by people that call it self-help, and mind you, anyone can say whatever they want and call it self-help, which I have a big problem with. If you are not an expert, I guess some life experiences can account to you trying to help other people, but if you are not a nutrition, why are you trying to tell people how to diet? If you are not someone who knows about fitness and has, been working out for years now, and you've just been in the gym for a year or so, I'm sorry, but you are not qualified to tell people how they should work out. You really are not. You could get people injured because you haven't gotten enough experience or have no enough knowledge about it yet. You know what I mean? And I feel like it is a lot of people just saying things and calling it self-help these days. But just remember that a lot, it is still people trying to make money, as even though it's called self-help, it's not just about helping you, if that makes sense. And I had to learn that. And something else that I learned is that I associated podcasts, the books, content consumption, everything that I was really leaning into and consuming so much of does not really equate to actual productive, I was just because I was watching content and I was watching all these podcast videos about how I should live my life, what I should do, how I could change my life, what I should work out, what I should read, how many hours of sleep I should get, where I should work, how I should open my own business, all these things that I was literally listening to did not actually turn into anything, if that makes sense. You just listening to something, unless you actually actively take action and work towards it, it doesn't become anything. And I had to learn that the hard way, because it is, I'm gonna call it performance, productive performance, if that makes sense, or performance whatever. It's just, you're just performing and you're acting like you're being productive by, consuming these contents, but you're not. You really are not, bro. Like, it's so superficial. And I had to take a step back and realize that, like, yeah, girl, like, you might be listening to at least 15 hours of content per week on podcasts, because, mind you, these podcasts, again, are like an hour or two long, sometimes 3 hours, on topics that I don't need to be diving into, on things that I have not experienced and don't care to experience, right? So I had to take a step back and be like, why do I need to be doing that? Like, why am I calling it productive? Literally, I would go on walks, I would go on runs, I would be cleaning, I would be doing something, studying, and I would have a podcast on. And I'm like, girl, you could just focus on what you're doing. Like, just because you have a podcast on doesn't mean like you are solving the world's biggest problem. You are not like you're not doing mental gymnastics. Like, what are you doing? Just focus on what you need to do. You know what I mean? And I really had to learn that. And like, sometimes it can just get so overwhelming to be consuming so much content and trying to like shape your life, change your life, like all these things that are telling you, you know what, you might be getting 6 hours of sleep, but let me tell you why that's gonna negatively give you, like, affect your life and give you Alzheimer's down the road. Like, it's just so much sometimes. And I had to realize that, like, I had to take a step back from that. um and I guess the next thing is also kind of associated with number two. So three is just that it leads to superficial results. It affects your relationships, and if you're not realistic about what you're learning and how you apply it to your life, then you don't really gain anything from self-help, because you're not really helping yourself in that sense. You're just really helping whoever is telling you what to do. Like, you're just helping them gain the views, gain whatever, but like, you're not really helping yourself in that case, because you feel like you're doing something, you feel like you're changing your life, but are you really? Like, I'm going to answer that for me, I was not. And then four is that it's just so time consuming, you guys. Like, listening to all these videos, reading all these books, trying to like better yourself, trying to develop yourself. I am gonna repeat this again. Like, it does have its benefits. It does help you to a certain degree, but especially if you're someone in their 20s who's trying to figure out life and you already feel lost, you don't need people telling you that you don't have it figured out, and that like you need to do this, you need to do that, and X, Y, and Z. And different tones, literally. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you haven't done this, you don't have your life figured out. Oh, you haven't done that, you don't have, like, it's so exhausting and it's so time consuming. And I feel like it's just so much better to, like, honestly, like, just tone it out. I don't need to be listening to all this stuff. I don't need to be consuming so much content all the time. And I've been doing this, mind you, like I said, since the COVID era, so probably like 5 plus years now. And it's just so much. Like, it's so much to be trying to change your life as a young adult. Like, you already have enough on your plate, and you don't need to be adding all these self-help contents on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? So it is so time consuming. And point number five kind of like is, so again, it like is similar to four, in the sense that like it can be stressful, it's time consuming, but also stressful to be trying to change your life all at once when someone's telling you to get more sleep, but you also need to eat better. You also need to reduce your stress. You also need to make more money. You also need to travel. It's just like, there's a lot of things that you can be doing that can qualify as self help. And it's like, and for the girls, it's like, you need to pamper yourself. You need to, go on walks. You need to do Pilates. You need to literally like do have a 20-point skincare routine, and all these things don't really mean like self-help, like self-growth, self-development. Like, honestly, do what makes you happy is what I've learned, and do things one step at a time, because trying to change so much of your life can feel so overwhelming, and it can feel debilitating to a point where you feel like you're really not changing anything, because you can't change everything in your life all at once. You can change one thing at a time, and then like you appreciate the growth that way. When I change something in my life and I actually take the time to do it, I appreciate that so much more than literally trying to rush into that change. You know what I mean? Like, your body has to be ready for that. And this is just my opinion on self-help, and I have so much more to like add on to this, but I want to keep this video short. So I hope y'all like this video, and I'm gonna hopefully post more on here. And I'm gonna, you guys tell me what you want to watch and I will listen to that and try to post more. But I really do hope that you guys like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye.